What's going on, world? Today, I'm super excited. Well, you might already notice I stay excited. However,
you do stay excited,
I do
Marky.
stay excited. I'm going to say this was a godsend, right? There are things that you tell yourself that you need to do. And probably for the past 5 years, I've had author a book on my to-do list and it just never manifested. So earlier this year, my podcast co-host, Matt Johnson, just asked me a simple question. He said, Marky, have you ever thought about writing a book? And I'm like, have I ever thought about writing a book? Duh, it's been on my list every single year and it has not manifested itself. And he said, well, I think you should reach out to today's host, none other than Mr. Mitchell Levy. He said, because I believe he can solve your problem. What's going on, Mitch? How you doing today?
Marky, it is always fun to interact with you in any form.
Well,
Great to be here.
I'm glad to hear that. So you're the man who's changing my life. Let me say this. Matt Johnson did change my life too. As a podcast was also on my list. But this is a very exciting year because not only is the podcast doing phenomenal, you and I are planning on a book to do phenomenal. And so I reached out to you because I needed to get something done that I had promised myself to do year after year after year. And guess what? This is the year that it will be done.
We're this close. So
we're this close. Actually, I don't even think you know really how close we are, but you and I talked yesterday, and let me tell you this, you know you're special if I talk to you on a Sunday, because I don't talk to people on a Sunday. But I'm just going to show you right here what I'm holding in my hand. And so we are very, very close to finalizing the Modern Real Estate Professional's Guide to Success. And so I want you to tell pretty much my audience, especially those in the world of real estate or entrepreneurs, what is the value of having a book? Like we say we want one, but how does it benefit us as an author?
So we're going to cover that, and then we're going to cover the easy button, and we're going to cover what we're going to do later, which will be really fun. So here's the thing to be thinking about. Everyone in the world has one of these, the camera. Everyone in the world has one of these, the microphone. And so we now have experts from all corners of the world. Now, if you're in real estate, you have a specific geography, but there are people who come into that geography from surrounding areas who come in because they can, because we now all have a camera. There are online computer programs coming in threatening to modify and update the world of real estate, of how houses are bought and sold. And so what's fascinating is if there are so many experts in the world, how do you make sure you stand out? Now, some people spend a couple $100K and they spend 3 years of their life and they get a PhD. And listen, there's nothing wrong with doing that. But the quickest, easiest button you could press to be able to say that you're an expert in the space you play is to have a book. Because to be able to say and by the way, not just a book, are you ready? A Amazon best-selling book. And that signifies to the world that you have credibility. Because why do you want a book? At the end of the day, your job is to get in front of your prospects so you could talk to them and close business. And the book helps you have that credibility piece so that people go, tell me more.
And you know what? I didn't understand the value. One, I didn't understand the value of having a podcast. And I've seen how that has basically changed people's perception of me. And in having discussions about my book coming out, I'm seeing firsthand how yet again the perception is being elevated.
Don't they light up, right?
Yeah, they light up and they have questions and they want to know how they can support you. But honestly, what I'm hearing from people is that people have been listening, watching, and following me that I didn't really realize it, but they are excited to support the book because I think the perception is it's going to give these nuggets something that's tangible. And maybe I've never asked them to buy anything before. They get the opportunity to really support, which is, I guess, a new feeling.
it's it is beautiful. The way you interact, the way you deal with the world is you have people, you are a giver, right? You're a nice servant leadership style where you're giving value, you're helping people, you're sharing with the world. And you also are very good at sharing and talking in small sound bites. So it turns out our relationship was meant to be because it's just a beautiful fit in terms of what we do. Now that you're actually packaging those sound bites into a vehicle that is easier for those people who relate to you, they like social media and they see what you do and they love the small video clips and they love what you're posting and what you're talking about. They have friends, though, that don't speak that way, that don't act that way yet. And so you're packaging what you do in your world into a vehicle that they can then share with their friends. And that's the leverage that you're going to see once the book comes out that goes even beyond what you're seeing immediately.
Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of people have asked me, well, Marky, why didn't you self-publish? And I laugh instantly. And here's the reason. I believe that everybody makes more money in owning a niche. And even though you are an author, that doesn't mean that you're supposed to be a self-published author per se, because now you have to take time and deviate from your main source of income to learn all of these different strategies and where to place it and how to place it and the logistics and the timing and every time I talk to you, it's something else that I have to think about. And what you tell me is, and what we're going to do is. So it's not that I have to find out where the website is, figure out how to load it or do any of that. You're telling me what you're doing for me as a result. And I've not had to stop making money in order to make money to spend money, which to me is kind of right. It's crazy, right? Because you're doing essentially everything for me, and I'm able to maintain my credibility, still book jobs, yet the book is being created. And so when you think about what do you do for people, could you tell the world what you've done for me?
Let me do that, and then I'll jump on my soapbox of self-publishing in a minute. So
okay,
here's a short thing. Or is it a big thing? There we go. Bad choice of words. So we work with busy, successful professionals who recognize the need for more credibility. They want that credibility through a book, but they have no time. So what I ask them to imagine is 4 months from today, we have ghostwritten, published, distributed, made them an Amazon best-selling author, and they spent between 5 to 10 hours. We actually press, are you ready? We press this button.
That was easy.
So you can press this button. Sorry, that was a little corny.
I've never seen those buttons before. So now I feel like you shorted me on the whole button experience. Okay, so busy, successful professionals. Okay, that's who I am. Keep going.
So here's the interesting part. And life has changed. And for me, I was, as a publisher, between 2005 and 2017, I published over 800 books. And what I could say, I was serving the wrong audience. We were successful, made good money, good lifestyle, everything's great. The issue is I was always trying to service me as a client. And I always thought as a client, I needed to be able to write books quicker. So I was always trying to come up with a format that would make it easier for me to write books. In 2018, so I did a TED Talk at the end of 2017. I did a Kickstarter at the end of 2016, and those things merged together for me to recognize at the end of 2017 that I was serving the wrong audience. 2018, I built the infrastructure in place, and now I'm actually really enjoying it. And the audience I'm serving now is the one that I mentioned, busy, successful professionals. And what happens is if you're going to write and publish your book, you're going to spend 320 hours, about 120 hours to write. If you could actually even pull it together, some people never get to it, and 200 hours to publish of all the things that we do on publishing. And that doesn't even include, Marky, once you're published, I don't know if you know this, but we're going to set you up with our partner where you get to read your audiobook. So you will also get your audiobook on Amazon as well as 22 other locations that sell audiobooks. So that 320 hours is crazy. That's publishing and writing your book. And now instead you get to spend 5 to 10 with me, focused on what we do. That's 310 hours left over. So just assume how much money you make per hour, multiply that by 310. And most people end up, when they write and self-publish, they end up make like a quarter or 10 cents an hour. I mean, it's crazy. And so you just have to decide where you want to spend energy. And if it's writing your book, you just have to say, listen, this is a hobby, and I'm going to take away from my business. I'm going to go on a hobby. I'm going to write my book. But if you're a serious business professional and you want to buy time, that's what we do. Is we're actually giving you the gift of time. And we have an asset that, one of the things that's going to be beautiful about what we do together is books 2, 3, and 4, where we're actually doing things that will make money and pull your communities together immediately. And so you just happen to be in a position that you not only can see the immediate benefit of this asset, but the other things we're going to do together.
You know, it was when we first sat down and started talking, honestly, I didn't know what it was going to cost. And this year has been the year of me getting out of my own way. So the first thing was to make a commitment to do a monthly podcast, which was a cost. I didn't know what it cost, but I knew I didn't have the time to train someone. I looked at it. I was like, that seems doable, yet expensive. Do I want to make that commitment? And I really said I wasn't going to take on any other monetary commitments this year. And then the opportunity came. You and I talked about other ways in which we could make this manifest, and I wouldn't have really any out-of-pocket expenses. And I told you, I think I'm going to go I'm going to do this first one, and we'll make that happen later, which will be an anthology. And I looked at my revenue share, because I'm with a company that provides revenue share. And I said, Marky, you make enough money in revenue share to fund your book. And so I took revenue from a source that I wasn't supposed to spend the money on how I live day to day. I invested it in my business because I believe that I'll get even a substantially bigger return as the result of having the book.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I parlayed revenue share into what I consider something that will increase the profits to get it done and to see the value and just the excitement. And we don't even have a copy. I don't even have a copy of the book in my hand, right? Really.
You did one of the things that's important. So we're at this final stage with you that the complete jacket, both paperback and hardcover, is done. And the complete interior is done. And this is what I recommend, and thank you for doing this, to actually, this is the final. Everything's done. We've done the proofreading. We've done the copy editing. You've looked at it a gazillion times. And now it's to look at it on a physical piece of paper like that and just go through it. See if there's anything that's funny. And we're going to move relatively quickly once you say go, to then get you physical copies as a proof, and then physical copies to support the things you're doing. Do you want to talk a little bit about the anthology concept?
I do want to talk about the anthology. Yeah, let's go, because there's a lot of concepts. Like, I mean, honestly, I had no idea, and every time I get on the phone with you, I'm learning something new, another way to, you told me this yesterday. Basically, you helped me to build my credibility in every aspect. And I'm experiencing that firsthand, and you don't know that you don't know. And so I'm starting to understand the value of essentially having you as a mentor coach in this process, because I know already I'm doing things different than I see other people who self-publish, who don't have, they don't have a coach, they don't have a mentor. It's all YouTube videos teaching them, and the 320 hours that looked like a real thing. I know for a fact that you and I spent 3.5 hours on the phone one day, and
that was long, but that was
long. But we got it done.
It's somewhere between 2 to 3. But Marky, you're an audible person, and you like to tell stories, and so I enjoy
stories
listening.
got in the way. My stories got in the way. And so the 10 hours is real, and I haven't missed a beat. But now I do want to talk about the anthology. But now what I've been doing is I'm gonna give you some credit for this. As a result of me teaching social media and technology, I want people to take action in class. They love nothing better than a good old competition. Okay. What I've been doing now, we don't even have the book, but I've given away copies of the book to get more student engagement to actually complete the task, which now means that my students are essentially giving me better online testimonials because they've taken the action solely because they're competitive by nature and they all want the chance to win a copy of the book that I didn't have, right?
Nice.
And I'm seeing how I'm going to take the book and tie it into essentially every class to get higher student engagement in the class that will lead to better testimonials. So it's that part of it I actually witnessed firsthand in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so I've done it a couple of more times. And when I tell them that I'm, giving this or giving that away, and it has something to do with this book, it wins them over.
Really, that's interesting. So tell me, what was the engagement? Was it just that they were a little more excited to get the project done because they had the offer of a book, or what else?
So there are two things. When I'm going into, let me give you an example. I'm going to work with homes.com today. I fly out today. I teach a session tomorrow. Well, everybody wants to have goals of increasing their engagement on their platform, whether that's people who like them, follow them, use their hashtag. So I've asked people to take action, follow us, or use this hashtag in a post. And generally I get I get good engagement. However, I've seen an increase in the engagement because what I tell them is I am going to ship you out a complimentary copy of the Modern Real Estate Professionals Guide. And we're going to go through now online to see who liked or who used the hashtag. And I'm just pulling a random person who in that audience did it. So now when I call forth the next task, the engagement is consistently increasing as opposed to depreciating because people realize they have yet another chance.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So by the way, wait until. So one of the things that we're going to do now is we're going to take your AHA messages and put them onto the AHA platform. So you're in the classroom, you now can talk about the 140 AHA messages, and any one of those messages can easily be shared on Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn. So you can say, hey, go to this URL, brings people to your online book, and say, hey, the person who shares the most or has the biggest reach, or you just fill in whatever the blank is, or just random. The more sessions you have here, the better chance you have to win. But now you have people sharing your content to their platform, and you get attribution for it as well. That'll be a very interesting added thing in terms of how you reach people.
So let me say this. One thing, because we have the different sections of the book, I've actually started the framework for a new class. And so in 2020, there will be a class, the Modern Real Estate Professionals Guide to Online Success, where we're focusing on each of the chapters as a theme for a section, and we bring in that support. So now I'm going to have yet a new class coming out as a result to support the book, utilizing those aha moments to dictate, to lead where the education is going to go. So I know that you and I are both pretty big idea people. We think creatively, but we take action on the creative thinking. I know that an anthology book was something that you and I had spoke of before, and I said I'll put the anthology book on the back burner and basically do my first book and come back to the anthology book. So I had never heard of an anthology book until I talked to you. So could you tell the audience what an anthology book is? Because I'm like, what's this thing?
Oh, sure. Well, so think about this asset that you currently have. You have your existing book, and part of what we talked about yesterday was we're going to let those people who are sponsors of yours. One of the things that we often do with a book like this. So this is one of your peer podcasters that Matt actually works with, Dr. Roxy Mooney. So one of the things that happened is anyone who wants to, a sponsor can actually put something in page 1. So we can actually print custom versions of this book in page 1. An anthology book, and there's many different ways to do it. I did one for my book, which complements my TED Talk, where we just had 5 people contribute. So I interviewed these 4 people for a half hour each, and then we created a book where only 20% of the content is mine, but because I'm the primary author, I've got the primary content here. What we're talking about for the anthology book is I've got two versions of this. One is this is an interesting, the C-Suite Executives Guide to Success. There were 50,000 members of C-Suite. There were 200 network advisors. So we had asked the network advisors, hey, how would you like to be part of a book? 40 of them said yes. And then here are the names, their LinkedIn profiles, and the particular aha messages. So imagine 40 real estate professionals or 40 people in the business who want to support a particular content, all adding value. And the content is beautiful because every aha message is from a different person. Everyone gets 2 or 3. And so there's just a breadth of content here. And so we do that where you can do it in the aha that format. And we print, I'm looking for a colored picture. We print color in the inside. We have blog posts. We could also do it if people want a more long form format. We could do it where we include 500-word articles. So here's a book by the late Dr. Judith Glaser, where there were 42 people who contributed 500-word articles. And the real benefit is the price points are completely different in terms of how we do business. And the real benefit is that as a person who's the collaborator pulling it together, in this case, what you're going to be doing, we make money right away because we ask the collaborators to be part of it. We have now 40 people who are all tasked and goaled with helping us get and hit not just Amazon status, but international Amazon status, right? Because we have lots more people helping. It's a significantly less amount of money that those that are contributing that they need to be paying to be part of the book. And the really cool part for you, the person who's doing the collaboration, is both the journey, because helping to pull people to be part of the book gives you the opportunity to once again foster new relationships or increase existing relationships with people you interact with. And in many cases, although you will make money, the collaborator will make money right away because we charge those contributors. But what's fascinating is it's really possible in many cases that the journey will produce more income, more results than the actual destination. So A, you get a book. B, you make money right away. C, you're forced on a journey to meet some really cool people, and that may blossom into something significantly greater than we even imagined. Was that an interesting way to answer that question?
That was an interesting way to answer that question. And, every year when I attend the Realtor Conference and Expo, I come up with things that I must do, right? My to-do list, people I must meet in order to make the next year more successful. So I'd been on this journey that 2019 was going to be my best year ever. And then I said, oh, Mark, you still got a long time. You're not even 50 yet. 2019 needs to be my best year to date. So I've already wrote myself a note of 25 new people that I need to meet at the Realtor Conference and Expo that we are going to talk about unique selling opportunities in real estate in order to be included in the Anthology book, which will be my second book due to release October of 2020. So I'm already thinking beyond the first book, right? We're already thinking to the second book. And I got subjects for days in the world of real estate that I believe that we could discuss and we could talk about. But it's very exciting to have that book and to be able to take a book and do an anthology book. Essentially, anybody who I would assume has any type of influence could definitely put the book together around any whatever they're a subject matter expert of, because most people today, it's that niche that's going to that's going to bring them the greatest benefits. I know niche.
Which is the one? Niche. I can say that 5 times fast. I did it 3. I did okay.
Oh yeah, I probably can. niche. No, okay, I'm rotating it. And that the book can honestly just change the trajectory of your business.
And I think I'm just trying to summarize the reason all this stuff that I do. Yeah, of course you could do it yourself. Here's the interesting part. For someone like you, Marky, you're seeing the boilerplates, you're seeing the templates, you're seeing the framework which I can help deliver, and we're going to have fun and make some money together. first of all, it's fun for those who play with me. It's fun, right? So it's fun and we make money together. And then you're positioning yourself to significantly increase the type of money you make in the door. And so why would you want to do things yourself when, you know, you can get essentially what I'm offering to anyone who wants to do it right? I'm a partnership guy. So you just have a piece of your arm, a piece of your business that will get taken care of you. And then you can then drive and spend more energy on the things that will both get you out there. By the way, I love the fact that you've already targeted 25 people, because now it's very easy. You know, this is what I can imagine you saying, okay, I've already done my first book. Here's how it's done. It's been really great. I'm working on a second one. It's an anthology book. I would love to talk to you about how you could be part of that. Like, who says no to that?
Hopefully no one.
Exactly.
But I mean, I'm excited about it because I've already been asked to be in an anthology book, or told that I'm going to be in an anthology book by one of my employers. And I remember when I saw their first book come out, and I was like, oh, I want to be included in that book. And because of my consistent work with one of my employers, they were like, oh, you know, we're coming out with our new book next year, and we want to include you. And I'm talking like Barbara Corcoran and Chris Smiths of the world, who are just icons in the world of real estate, that they think my information is valuable like their information. And so I'm seeing now all of the other opportunities that are going to come as the result of getting the freaking book done. You know, but it has to get done. You can't say everybody got a book, right? I mean, and since I've decided to talk about the fact that I'm coming out with my book, everybody has a book. The question is, how many are going to get done?
Yes. And a lot of times, Marky, people say, hey, I'm going to have time to write my own book when I retire. Well, that stage is no longer relevant, right? Your book is a credibility piece that it's very simple. You need to open more doors. If there are, let's say you're a prospect, whatever it is, if it's real estate and realtors, whether it's mortgage loans, whatever it is, you have, let's just say 10 competitors. And if somebody's looking at you and your competitors, why do they choose? And they're going to narrow it down to 3. They'll talk to 3 and they'll choose one. How do you get narrowed down to the 3? You have a book. Really simple. They're not going to see your book and say, oh, I want to hire this person. Most likely. They're going to see this book and say, I want to talk to this person. And so when you retired, that's a different thing. If you want to tell your life story when you're retired, take out your camera, or have one of your grandkids take out a camera and ask you 4 questions, record the answers, put it on Vimeo, put it on YouTube. Trust me, you'll save a whole lot of time, money, and the people who will watch it will people who care, versus spending all this money on a book that no one will read. For your book that you want to do for business, press the easy button, have an asset, and then use it in such a way that you put it in the hands of your prospects so that they go, you know, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to Marky because I relate to some of this content in her book. And they don't have to read the whole thing. As you know, our books have 140 bite-sized quotes. They may see one and only one aha message. By the way, I know I'm putting you on the spot. Is there one particular aha message that's your favorite at the moment?
Well, if it was, it'll be one that's on the back of the book. You want me to just pull one of those?
Yeah, please.
Prospects will tell you their needs in real time through social media. Successful real estate professionals listen and try to understand how those needs can be fulfilled, and they then present solutions.
See, so here's what's really fascinating about a book. That's something that, as far as when I was doing the research on you, that's something you've said forever. Now, when the book comes out and it's an Amazon best-selling book, we guarantee that we'll make an Amazon bestseller. We're going to try to make it international, but we guarantee Amazon bestseller. The next time you say it and you go, let me tell you something from my Amazon best-selling book, and then you say the same thing, it has different weight. It means something different. People go, oh, Exactly. Exactly.
I
It's
just
the
got
mighty
my
might.
weight up. I just got my weight up. Okay, I got you. Yeah, and I say it all the time. You know, people tell you all their needs and wants in real time, right? I can see that. I'm feeling it. Is what I would say.
Beautiful.
So I'm just really excited about all of the opportunities, and I know that we're just starting in our journey. I know that there are other real estate professionals who have. Or entrepreneurs for that matter. I always talk about being a real estate professional, and I really need to highlight the fact that I am a proud fifth generation entrepreneur, third generation restaurateur, because this is one of numerous businesses that I've owned, successful businesses that I've owned. So this is just a part of the journey. Mitch, how does one connect with you? Where are you online in the world if they want to finally get their book out and
So
not
I
take the
used to.
320 hours?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. I used to iterate like 5 different URLs of like the 25 that I have in the marketplace. But let me give you one. Okay. It's my name, MitchellLevy360.com. So that's MITCHELLLEVY 360.com. And when you're there, you could watch a quick customer testimonial of how we affected other customers. You can connect to me on whatever social media platform is one that's appropriate to you. And if you want to book time on my calendar, you have direct access to book time on my calendar. So that's MitchellLevy360.com.
And you know what? Another thing, just to validate, I'm a member of the National Speakers Association. Every time I've attended one of their big events, they talk about the value of their book workshop. So I would say that, the National Speakers Association is dedicated towards speakers in this country. So those of you who want to build a bigger platform on speaking, those who speak tend to have a book, that it just keeps on enhancing who you are to the public. Mitch, I want to thank you. I'm sure you got a lot of people thinking about a book. You can find him at MitchellLevy360.com and get it done. 2019 is the best year to date. The question is, what are you going to do to make every year the best year to date? Because you want to continue to get better. Mitch, thank you for being here.
Marky, my absolute pleasure. Always fun to interact with you. And once again, for those listening, you have to imagine 4 months from now, you're an Amazon best-selling author. What is that worth in your life?
It worked. It's working for me, and we are right now approaching the 4-month mark. I would have never thought that, but it's happening, and so we will definitely keep you posted on the outcomes. Thank you,
Beautiful.
guys.